Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Wills, Trust, and More. And, of course, we have Eileen Kerlin Walsh, attorney from Worth, Illinois.
Thank you, Ron. Delighted to be here.
Welcome back. Eileen is, again, from Worth. She has her office at 11301 Harlem Avenue. Just to identify, she has been an attorney for a long time. We have done a little profile on her in the past. We are here to talk about something very unique, talking about pets. After you have left and you've passed on, and what happens to your pets? Just exactly how can you prepare to have them taken care of? And that's the topic, and I think it's pretty interesting to hear your comments on this, Eileen.
Thank you, Ron. Taking care of pets is something we do want to consider, and we do consider. And many of our clients in our community, particularly our seniors, are extremely attached to and very, very fond of their pets. Pets for seniors, for maybe whom their spouse has passed away, they either don't have children or their children are out of state, that pet can really become the subject, the focus, the love of their life, their companion. And we know that that relationship is really beneficial for the elderly because it can really help them with their health, keep blood pressure down, keep away feelings of isolation and loneliness. So the pet is a tremendous benefit for the elderly, becomes the center of their life, and they very much do want to take care of that pet when they're making their arrangements. And if there is no care taken, if there are no arrangements made, that pet will often go either if the senior goes into assisted living or a nursing home, or if they pass away, the pet will often go to a shelter or some kind of an animal home where we could hope that it would be adopted. But the reality is many pets get euthanized after their owner passes away.
And we know that happens.
Absolutely, we know it happens. We know it's not what our clients would want, so we can do much better than that. And we do therefore take pet planning into consideration when we do estate planning.
And tell us and walk us through, how do you do that?
How do you take care of the pets? Well, the first thing we have to consider, as with all elements of estate planning, is what is our client's need? What kind of pets do they have? What sort of assets do they have? What do they want to do? What do they have an appetite for? And there's a couple of things we can do. Certainly pet trusts have become popular now, and we can take care of our clients' needs with a pet trust, or we can do bequests in a will. There's a couple of alternatives. The pet trust is relatively new. It's been Illinois law since 2005, and since that the law is finding its feet and we're really seeing where it's going. But it's very, very important that our clients know that we in the law and in the society, in the community, take their wants and needs seriously.
So when you talk, excuse me a second, when you talk about trust, are you talking about at the time you're doing your trust, you include the pet, or do you have a separate trust for the pet?
That's a terrific question. You can do either, but you certainly think about the pet before the need is there, just as with all aspects of estate planning. So when our clients are doing a live-in trust, for example, in there we can include provisions for the pet, an internal pet trust within their trust, or we can do it as a standalone if they have no other reason for a trust. So it's part of the overall planning. Now, clients are not necessarily maybe going to have at the time of their death the same pet they have at this time. So we'll kind of broaden our planning. I've had many clients say to me, well, if I don't have this dog, I will have some dog, because they know they're always going to have dog or dogs or some kind of pets. So we'll take into consideration the number of pets they have, the nature, the type. Obviously, a 10-year-old dog is going to need a lot less care and attention and money than a 4-year-old racehorse that has 30 years to go. So we take all of that into consideration at the time of the planning. And what's so nice about pet trusts is that often when a senior or anyone really cares about a pet and they want to provide for it, they're afraid the law doesn't take them seriously. They're afraid someone will think that they're not capacitated. In fact, when I spoke with a neighbor about doing this show in Pet Trust, she said she had been informed if you want to take care of a pet in a trust, you better get a letter from your doctor, because there's almost a presumption of incapacity. We do, if you want to take care of a pet and leave some money for it. So we want the clients to know that if a pet is the object of your affection, if you do have assets that you want to leave to take care of it, we take it seriously. we get it into a trust. And pet trust, as I said, Ron, we have them since 2005. Typically within the trust, we'll identify the animal, its needs, we'll identify a caretaker for that animal, we'll identify a trustee, and then we'll set aside some funds to take care of the animal. And how much we set aside is going to depend on, again, the type of animal, the number of animal, the kind of needs that it'll have. And we'll typically say to a client, well, what does it cost to take care of your pet for a month? And if they don't know, just monitor it for a little bit. Then we'll get enough set aside that hopefully we'd have enough from investment income to take care of the animal or animals every month and know that the funds won't run out. Then typically another thing we consider is, what do we do with any funds left in the trust when the animal does eventually pass? And very typical designations are either back to the human beneficiaries, if we do have some, maybe to the caregiver, or again to a humane society or some sort of an organization that the clients who love their pets typically have an affiliation with. So it's fairly simple, the statute is simple, but it's really letting the community and the clients know that the law takes their desire to take care of their pets seriously.
Okay, if you don't do a trust, what's the alternative?
Well, and certainly a pet trust is not for everyone. But we, for decades in the profession, and certainly I, since I started estate planning, have been taking the client's pets into consideration. A very popular way is just a provision in a will. As we know, most responsible adults do a will at some point as they contemplate death. So we can get into the will, provisions for the animal, we can name the animal, because often the client wants to see, again, it's that respect that you're honoring. We'll name the animal or any animal that they own at the time of their death. They will make that provision, they'll name the caretaker, hopefully someone that they have gotten permission from in advance. They'll bequest, gift the animal to that caregiver and leave a sum of money aside for the animal. Now, the big difference between that bequest, Ron, and doing a pet trust is enforceability. Now, for many of our clients, to know that somebody will take the animal and hopefully honor their intention is enough. But there are those, especially if it's a valuable animal or very beloved and they have a lot of assets, they really want to know that there's some enforceability there. Right. And the big difference between the trust and the bequest and a will is the enforceability. And within a trust, we can name that caregiver. Again, we'd love to get their permission in advance, a family member, a neighbor, or even an organization, but someone that you know will take care of them. We can name a trustee, and then, as I said, we'd also name whom the funds would go to when the animal that the trust was created for, is no longer there.
We say pet and we say animal, and some people might take offense to that because it's a family member to those that are extremely close to their pets.
And you just spoke right to the heart of these pet trusts, because this is for those for whom that pet is so beloved, they want to take care of it like a family member. In two ways. They want to make sure it's taken care of after they pass away, just as they feel about their children. And they do want to make the pet the object of their affection, this object of their bounty. So there's ceremony in leaving a gift to that animal as their way of saying, this animal was as beloved to me as my children. And that is what I have learned over the years to take very, very seriously. The value of that animal, especially to a lonely senior, is beyond words. And they feel that way about them. And just because you or I or any attorney or any society member might not feel that way about animals, they might think it's frivolous, they might think it's wasteful. But when someone feels that way, it's their assets, it's their pet, it's their right to leave what they want to that animal for its care. The law is going to honor and respect that, and we respect that animal within the law, and the trust and the funds and the enforceability, just as similarly as a children's trust, a special needs trust is a living trust.
Now, you mentioned that it became a state law?
Yes.
When did it start?
2005.
What was prior?
Prior to that, we made bequests and wills.
Okay.
Or we put provisions into the trust. The problem before we got a good pet statute in place was enforceability.
Okay.
You really didn't have, and now the statute spells out the enforceability. Not only do we have provision for the caregiver, what their rules and rights and regulations are, the trustee, maybe the same person, maybe somebody different. The statute provides for a third overseer. You can name a third party, because just remember, the caregiver may not respect your needs. And if the caregiver and the trustee is the same person, well, then what if, as time passes, they use those funds for themselves?
Yes.
Maybe don't care about, neglect, or get rid of the pet. So we've got to make sure that the caregiver and the trustee live up to their expectations. And by naming a different caregiver from the trustee, you're putting that little bit of check and balance into place. But what if the caregiver and the trustee collude to neglect the pet and spend the money? Again, we trust, we hope those we name, but there's maybe a little bit more of a chance of abuse when it's the care of an animal, because while we all hopefully really truly respect human life, there are some who may not respect the animal the same. So the statute makes provision for you to name, when you are estate planning, a third party who will go in and enforce the terms of the trust if the caregiver and the trustee are not doing so, because we know Fido can't.
Yes.
The
yes.
beneficiary,
Very interesting how this is
unlike
working.
a human beneficiary, is not going to be able, they'll recognize neglect, okay, but they're not going to be able to do anything about it.
Yeah,
so
no
the
fix.
statute, it's relatively short and relatively new, but it's really taking care of the salient points. And most states are now getting this into place. We followed on the heels of California.
Okay. Interesting. So, needless to say, you are able to take care of this trust, prepare a trust, and work with the person that has the pet.
Yes, absolutely. As I said, we've always taken pets into consideration. It was often a bequest. I, in my days of estate planning, we have taken into consideration horses, dogs, birds, cats. Those are the more typical ones. Since 2005, and we often took care of them of a bequest in the will. Now, since 2005, we can get these pet trusts into place. And certainly we don't do them for everyone who has a pet, but they are, and even to get it incorporated into the living trust when our client is already estate planning, it's just a terrific opportunity, one, to have the client think about their pet, think about the arrangements for it, so we can really get the conversation started. And what an aspect of estate planning is, and when clients come to us, they have a vague sense that I need to take care of affairs. But because we do this all the time and we know what all the considerations are, we're able to give them the questions that they might have to seek within themselves for the answers. So, oh my gosh, I had never thought about my pet. We can help them think about it, but we certainly know that they would be concerned if they became ill or if they passed away for that pet. So we're able to help the client look at the whole entire picture, get it into place. A gift and a will, a pet trust. There's another alternative, and those are pet sanctuaries. And these are types of animal shelters designed to take the pets of owners who have predeceased. And if a pet sanctuary is where you would like to go, then we have the client identify one. There are several they can choose from. Go visit them, make sure that they're comfortable with them, and then we would get the permission from that sanctuary to name them, find out what their terms and conditions would be within the will, and set aside a gift. Again, you would have to be careful that you make that gift contingent upon the lifetime care of the animal.
Yes.
Because we just then need to maybe wonder what their policies are. So we do the best we can, and we can certainly do much better now with pet trusts than we have done, we're able to do before.
Kind of a loaded question, and I'm sure you have done this.
Oh, sure.
Many trusts with pets.
Absolutely. Very few standalone. Most people who have the assets to provide for their pets will do it within their living trust. And that's a perfectly good way to do it. It doesn't add to the expense. It's what we have often done. We have done many, many, many bequests and wills. So I actually read a statistic recently. There are more pets in America than there are in American households than there are children.
Wow.
We revere our pets in the U.S. And luckily this country has enough assets and resources to be able to take good care of pets in addition to ourselves. Because if all we have the money to think about is survival, then we're just going to think about survival. And animals are merely tools of survival, such as in farms and at subsistence level. But when we have the luxury of resources and assets to take care of ourselves and then some extra, we're very, very kind to pets. And this pet trust is an extension of that. And certainly we take our clients' pets seriously. And even to talk about pet trusts, Ron, people often smirk or will say, wouldn't this money be better going to help the poor, our starving children? Many of our clients who do take care of pets are also charitably minded. They are going to take care of charity, they're going to take care of churches, they're going to take care of their human beneficiaries, but they're also going to take care of their animals. And it's, as I said before, it's their resources, it's their animal, it's their love, it's their companionship, and it's absolutely their right, and we respect that, and we give their intentions legal enforceability.
Yeah, thank you for addressing that, because one would have a tendency to do just exactly what you said. You know, why are we talking about saving pets when we have all this starvation and whatever else is going on in somebody else's perception of the world? And yes, because if you are leaving money and you are leaving a trust for your pet, you probably have already arranged to take care of whatever donations that you feel comfortable with as well. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just another couple of considerations for those who do have pets. As part of this lifetime arrangement, we want to think about what would happen to those pets if something should happen to us before we die. It's not all about after death, because as you know, we estate plan for ourselves for if we become incapacitated or become ill or have an accident. So we always encourage our clients to get into place some arrangements now for should they become ill or have some kind of an emergency. Now, if you get a pet trust in place with your living trust, it will have those lifetime provisions. There's going to be somebody standing guard should you need to go into a nursing home or should you have an accident. We also ask our clients to keep a pet alert card with them. And this is, again, many of our seniors may have birds, they may have fish, in a tank in the basement. They may also have a few cats or dogs. So for those clients especially who have multiple pets, just to keep a little card with them, what pets they have, the number, the location in the home, the names. Sometimes even clients will want to get their pets' personalities and their little habits and what they would particularly want taken care of. And then to have emergency caregivers, vets, that sort of information available in their home with that nice roadmap we always talk about.
Yes.
Not just do we want all your documents in place, we want them easily found and easily navigated for those to come in to help and those who are going to take care of affairs. So if we have our pet information also in there with emergency procedures, then we have that beautiful peace of mind that we always hope to provide with estate planning, that your home, your health care, your financial care, your family and your pets are taken care of during any time that you can't keep doing as you have been doing during your lifetime, during illness, either temporary or permanent, and afterlife.
That document gives you a feeling of comfort, knowing that everything is taken care of the way you want it.
Peace of mind, and that too, just like the pets, will lower your blood pressure, keep you healthier, and living for a long, long time. There, what better reason to do your estate planning, Ron, right?
Very good. Boy, you really covered a lot, and the fact that you have already done this is really interesting. You've had a lot of experience in a lot of the things that you brought up about the sanctuaries. I really never thought of that. And that's interesting to hear, and that people actually do this. And, well, Eileen, thank you again for coming back with us. Is there anything else you want to add into conclusion for the viewers? You covered a lot of stuff.
Thank you. I think that's it. If any of the viewers have a question about pets or how to get this into place, just give me a call.
And your number's at the bottom of the screen right now, and so we'll work it that way, and we'll put a plate with your address, and if anyone has a question, they'd be
happy to help.
Very good. Very good. Thank you for
coming
out.
Ron. As always, a pleasure.
It's a pleasure to have you back, and we'll see you next month with another topic.
Thank you.